rocking along, just setting up everything here, just making sure we have kind of good angles that you can see everything. That should be all right. And I'm just going to set up on my phone now for our Facebook page. So I'll just give a short overview now in a couple of seconds. Just want to log into our Facebook here. Watching. Now, just set that up as well. Okay, so that should be us. Let's stand it up a little bit straighter. Now, that should be perfect. Okay, so all very welcome on YouTube, Facebook. Great to have you with us. Happy to be here. So my name is Shane. So I'll be bringing you to the chair gym today. So as ever, I'll lead all these movements for this seated session from the chair. If there's anything you want to perform differently, that's okay. Main considerations, I would always say, if a movement causes any kind of pain, irritation, just please leave that movement out. Don't persist if something just doesn't feel good to you. As ever, we'll kind of break down a couple of the movements as I like to do, and we'll just spend a little bit of time with each movement, just try and feel different parts of our body. So hopefully it's a little bit nicer. It's pretty bad out where I am here in Dublin, so kind of harder maybe on a day like this to get kind of active in the same way. So hopefully we'll just, as I say, get lots of movement in here today and hopefully feel good after the session. So just checking in. Yeah, raining as well, Mary. So let's get into it. And begin the process warming up. So first thing I want to do is just sit up nice and tall in my chair and just very lightly just to begin shrugging the shoulders. So just get a nice light shrug of the shoulders up and down. I'm just getting any movement at all here. Really, that's the first point that we want here. Is just warming the body up, just getting everything moving, gently bringing our heart rate up a little bit, just loosening out anything that's maybe a little bit tight and stiff, and just getting ourselves moving and active here. So bringing those shoulders up and down, nice and light. Now from there, I'm just going to bring my hands together and just gently rotate to the right and then over to the left. So just think of this part as rotation, movement from side to side, over to the right, over to the left. And we'll just keep that one nice and light. Only real point here is just to avoid going really quickly. Just keep it as a nice smooth rotation side to side. Nice and light, over to the right, over to the left. Now, keeping my hands together, just raise up to the left shoulder and then over to the right shoulder. So just stretching across nice and light to each side. And just bringing hands towards the shoulders on each side. Okay. Just keep them nice and light. And then with those hands still together, arms straight out in front, just around in circles. Just getting a little bit of movement from the shoulders. Just nice controlled circles. And then just to reverse and change direction. Again, just nice steady circles here. Okay, and those hands still together. Just nice and light, raise the arms in front, just to about shoulder height here. Keeping the arms nice and straight, keeping my hands together, just lightly raising those arms directly out in front. Let me just keep that one going, nice and light. And back down. Okay, next, just opening out the chest. The movement I like to do a lot, if I bring my arms across my chest and then just pull back nice and wide, opening those arms out, opening out my chest, maybe getting a nice squeeze between the shoulder blades, just a really nice open position. So just bringing those arms out nice and wide, opening out your chest, nice squeeze between the shoulder blades, and just continuing on. So just going for another couple there. Yeah, hitting Limerick hard. Hopefully all okay there, Kathleen. Hopefully not too bad. I think Waterford as well. Some of those areas been hit quite hard, so and Cork as well. So hopefully everything okay in those parts. And back. So next, just bring hands down to your legs and just lightly stretching down, hands towards the feet. Just go as far as just one of those things we always say with the technology, it might just glitch a little bit. Okay, if I just straighten up my position, arms by my sides, just lightly to the right, and then over to the left. So just lightly between the two positions, just think reaching down. So over to the right, and then over to the left. Just again, not to hurry between these positions. Think of a sheet of glass in front of your body, behind your body. So I can only go side to side, not allowing my body to go forward or back at all. So just side to side. Okay. Now just finishing down into our lower limbs for the warm-up. Just lightly begin extending the legs out, right and left. Just extending the legs out one at a time, right and left. Just continuing on there. Marie Ballybrack, great to have you with us. Very welcome along. Not too far away. So just extending the legs out, right and left. And just keeping the body moving, active. And that really is the main thing in your warm-up. Just that you're moving, active, gently bringing that heart rate up. And just switching on to parts of the body and just loosening out. And from there, we'll take it into a nice controlled march. I'm looking to get a little bit of height as I lift the knee, as opposed to going really fast. So do try and get a nice big lift, just with the purpose of connecting with those hips a little bit here. Nice big lifts, and those knees right up. And then just return back again to those leg extensions, just going right, left, just switching on to the top of our legs here. Our thighs on each side, just extending out, keeping it moving. And then again, let's go straight back into those nice big knee lifts, just switching on to our hips here. Big lift each time. Okay, we're going to stick with the hips, but let's just keep going with this movement for another couple of lifts here. And what I want to do next is just lightly open my right leg out and lightly open that left leg out. So just think opening out from the hip on each side, keeping that upper body nice and straight. So I'm not allowing my body to turn with the movement, in that I'm making the hip do the work. So just opening out from your hip. That might be a very small range of motion, and that's absolutely fine. Just work with whatever range you're comfortable here. Opening the legs out, one at a time. Nice and light. Just avoiding kind of stamping the feet down or anything like that. Just keeping it nice and light. Okay, we're just going to finish up down with our feet. So I'm going to start off just walking the feet forward a little bit, lifting my toes straight up off the floor. Just simply raising just to begin. Lifting the toes up, maybe feeling a little pull on the front here. Lifting the toes up. And we keep going, plenty of reps here just to switch on, lifting the toes up, keep going. And then if I walk my feet back a little bit, and now lifting the heels up. So feeling the back of my lower legs here. And again, lots of nice movements through the ankle. We're going to pay a little bit of attention actually to the ankle calf in one of our little first blocks of movement. So just switching on, warming up here. Okay, and then finally with my right foot up, slowly around in circles. Nice big circle with your toes, and the foot moving. And then reverse, changing direction, back the opposite way. Nice big circle. And back down. We'll swap sides. Left foot up. Nice big circle, drawing a nice big circle with my toes. Just opening out from that ankle, just if it feels a little bit tight, stiff. Nice big circle, drawing with your toes. And then reverse, back the opposite way. And thinking, can I go nice and slow with this movement? Just keeping it right under control as I draw those nice big circles. And down. Okay. So, quick sip of water if you need. We're going to get straight into our first block of movement. Just to show how this is performed, I'm going to turn my chair side on, but you're absolutely fine as you are. So, yeah, that should be perfect. What I might do to begin is just sit slightly forward in my chair. I mentioned about movement of the ankle here, and maybe just connecting a little bit with the back of my lower leg. So what I want to do, dig my right heel out onto the floor, and then tap the toes down. So just get it in a kind of comfortable range. So not so far away that you can't do it, but just enough that you can dig the heel, tap the toes. So just lightly with my right foot off the floor, I tap the toes down, then dig the heel down. So go between those two positions, heel, toes, only moving through the right side of my body. Heel, toes, heel, toes. So continue on. I can hold on to my chair for support, just nice and straight here, pointing toes down to the ground, digging the heel in. Just think about the movement through that angle of pointing toes down and then pointing toes up. So point down, point up, so that the toes touch the floor and my heel touches the floor. So I'm getting that movement, maybe feeling the likes of the back of my leg here, and getting that nice movement between the two positions. Spend a little bit of time here. I always find when it comes to the calf, the ankle, it takes a couple of reps just to open up the position. It'll feel a bit tight and stiff at first, but after a couple of reps, it'll really start to open up, connect with the movement. So let's continue on. Toes, heel, and rest. I want to do the same action, just working on the left. And it's really nice areas like this, I think, just to break it down and give that little bit of attention and focus to the one side. So now my left foot left side is engaged. I tap my heel down to the floor and then my toes. So you'll see heel, toes, or another way I can think of it is pointing my toes down and then pointing the toes up. So down and up. And you can just see I'm swapping between those two positions. It's nice and comfortable in my chair, and the movement through that left side. Toes down, toes up. And again, what maybe feels a bit tight and stiff at first, let's just spend a little bit of time in this position, getting lots of repetitions, and we might start to really open up and then connect better. So just, I know calves has come up a lot as an area of kind of tightness, weakness. So that's why I like to give a little bit of attention to a movement like this. So let's keep it going. Tapping the toes and then the heel. And one or two more. And rest. Perfect. I'm going to come back to the front position. And next we'll get our lawnmower pullbacks. One I've done a couple of times before. So again, just kind of readjust, maybe ever so slightly forward in the chair. Just open the legs a little bit, just there as a kind of support base. What I want to do is reach down with my right hand and then pull across, driving that elbow. Swap sides, left hand, reach down, pull across, driving that elbow back. So again, you reach down as far as comfortable, drive back as far as comfortable. Reason I say lawnmower, just think of the way you might pull a lawnmower cord. If anyone has one of those lawnmowers like I do, so just reach down, pull the cord, driving that elbow back. Just take your time to set between each position. You can really just control in terms of how far you reach and in terms of that pull back. But I try and raise that elbow up a little bit and kind of opening up my body as I pull back, maybe feeling around my shoulder as I pull back with that elbow. Every time I pull back, I'm kind of supported by my hand resting on the leg. So I have that nice base of support as I reach down and pull back. Again, we'll just spend a little bit of time opening up in this position. Let's get one more on each side and back to the left. Okay, so that's your first block. We're going to repeat those a second round and then we'll move into a nice kind of fresh block of work. Again, I'm going to demonstrate this just from the side position, just to give you the best view of what we're doing. So again, I sit slightly forward in my chair, but I'm still nice and strong in this position, holding the sides or just the chair itself. And let's go with our right side, tapping my toes down and then pointing them up. So just swap between the two positions. Toes to the floor, then my heel to the floor. So I'm getting that nice range and movement in that right side. Toes down, toes up. I'm just swapping between the two positions. Okay? Again, supported by my chair. Thinking about movement through the ankle and maybe feeling your calf, the back of that leg here, getting a nice connection and feel in the back of your leg. So toes down, toes up, just swapping between the two positions. Again, it might seem like a long time, but I like to spend a little bit of time in the movement. You know, simple reasons. If you feel a bit uncomfortable, adjust your position. We have loads of time, so just kind of adjust, change anything that doesn't feel good. Toes up, toes down. Once more, and rest, okay? Swap it up over to the left side. So again, just kind of reset. I feel good, comfortable. So I'll begin. Point my toes up, down to the floor. Toes up, down to the floor. So my heel touches the ground, toes touches the ground. Swapping between the two positions. Toes up, toes down. So again, really focusing in on the ankle, feeling that calf as well, and just giving that attention to each side. And you might find one side moves a lot freer. And if we were, for example, to do this motion with the two, you might not pick up on those little differences. So you might find that that left side is a little bit tighter, or one of the ranges is difficult, such as lifting the toes up. So we're just kind of exploring, trying out with this movement. Toes down and then up. Once more and up. Perfect. Now back to our lawnmower pulls here. So again, just going to come back to the front position. Again, just ever so slightly forward in the chair. Again, just open the legs a little bit. Remember there is a kind of base of support for one side. Reach down with your right hand. Pull across with the elbow and swap. So every time, just driving that elbow back, opening up your body. So you can see how I just open up this position. And I might just get a nice connection with the back of my body here as well, around the shoulder. As I drive that elbow back, I reach down as far as comfortable, and I drive back in a range that feels good. So you can change this, and just making it work best for you in whatever range feels good. Every time I reach down, I'm supported by a hand resting on the leg. So I have that good support here. I'm in no pressure in terms of the range I work within. Just a nice light movement. Just don't want to be too blocky and rigid. Let's try to think of a nice light rotation as I open up. And let's go once more on each side. And back to the left. Perfect. Okay. So that's your first little block of work done. We're going to set a couple of new exercises and movements in. So first movement is going to focus on your chest and also going to connect with the back of our body a little bit, a combination movement. I'll show it from the front first, and then I might show a couple of reps from the side as well. So again, just readjust, comfortable, strong in my chair. Hands up at about chest height. So just not down here, up here. Just think roughly chest, shoulder, that kind of alignment. I want you to push directly in front and then pull back as far as comfortable. So press forward, pull back. Press forward, connecting with my chest. Pull back, maybe getting a squeeze of your shoulder blades. I think it'll actually be okay from this front position. Just think go slowly between the two. Forward, pull back. Press forward, pull back. So let's get another couple of reps here. Going between those two positions. Pressing forward, pulling back, forward, pull back. So I think of the chest, the front of my body, and then I think back of the body as I pull back. So I'm purposely going between the two ranges, the two positions of pressing forward, pulling back. I'm just roughly in a nice straight line forward and back with those hands. Taking a second or two in each position. And rest. Brilliant. Next movement, we're going to move down to the lower body. Just keep this as a kind of nice, again, light flow. Try not to be too rigid and blocky with the movement. So I reset, side of the chair, holding on. What I want to do is lift my right knee and lightly press the leg forward. Lift the left knee, and again, just lightly press forward. So you can see I try not to hammer the leg out really fast, but just keep it as a nice light movement. Knee up and press, knee up and press. So just keep this as a really nice light movement, just keeping the lower body moving and active here. Lift and press. So keep it going. We're going to get plenty of reps here. And again, just keeping the body active and moving here. Knee up and press. Knee up and press. So we don't need to think too much. As I say, just in the movement, lifting and then pressing. We're keeping it light. Only real major point, just that you don't hammer that leg out and do it all really fast and at once. Break it down. Knee up, press. Knee up, press. Okay, let's get another couple of reps. And let's go for one more per side. And down. Okay, perfect. Next movement. We're going to do just a movement of the shoulders. Very simple, straightforward. Front raise. Straight position. Arms straight. Hands clenched. Okay. From that point, you can bring your two hands together, just lightly, and begin raising in front. So you're keeping your arms nice and straight, and I'm just raising to about shoulder height. I don't need to go any higher than that. Okay, I'm keeping the arms straight, working through my shoulders. And just pause briefly at about shoulder height and lower back down. Here, what we want to avoid is maybe just swinging the arms or putting any kind of body movement into it. Think your shoulders controlling the movements on each side. So a nice, straight, controlled raise. Let's get 3 more here. And 1 more. And back down. Reset. Okay, so 3 new movements. Repeating them again a second time. So again, let's just kind of reset the position. Just make sure you feel comfortable. Let's work on our chest press and pull back combination. A really nice upper body, front of the body, back of the body combination. So hands up at about chest height and maybe about shoulder width. So somewhere roughly in line with your shoulders, chest here. That feels comfortable. Press forward, pull back. Press forward, pull back. I might just show a couple from the side how that looks. Forward, pull back. So I'm pushing out from my chest, connecting here, pulling back, connecting back to the body. So I press forward, I feel the chest active, I pull back, I get a nice squeeze between the shoulder blades. And you see, I'll just take maybe a second or 2 in each position as I've pressed forward and as I've pulled back. And let's just keep that one going. Another couple of reps here. Press forward, pull back, press forward, pull back. Think in front of the body and back of the body. Couple of different parts. You can feel your chest, your back, those shoulders all active with this movement. And once more, and back. Okay, back to our nice kind of light lower body flow next. Always just kind of resetting if I've come out of position a little bit. So again, lift the right knee and just lightly press. And then the same on the left. Lift and press. Keep it nice and light. Lift your knee, lightly press the leg. Again, just to avoid hammering that leg out really quick. Just keep it nice and light. That it feels comfortable. You don't feel in any way uncomfortable performing the movement. And this one is really just about keeping the lower body just moving on this one. Nice and light. Lift and press. Keeping the body active, keeping ourselves moving. So just a little bit of challenge in our movement, just keeping it flowing, a nice kind of comfortable pace. Knee up and press. And then last couple of reps and we'll move into that front raise. Let's go one more time. And left. Excellent. Reset my position again. Arms straight in front, clenching the hands, and I'm just going to lightly merge them together here. Begin raising in front, back down. So just again to about shoulder height. If I have any difficulty and that one side is difficult, separate and just alternate working ranges that feel good to you. Just looking to put a little bit of tension and kind of connection through the shoulders by merging hands together, keeping the arms straight, and just feeling a nice connection with your shoulders. Avoid swinging the arms, just keep it as a nice steady action. Arms straight, raising directly in front. Nice and light. Another couple of reps here, just really working, connecting with your shoulders. Last couple of reps. Let's get 3 more. And 2, and last one. And down. Brilliant. Okay. 2 really good rounds of work completed. So let's move in to third. Okay. So again, I'm going to turn my chair to the side for this first movement, just again to give you the best kind of view of the movement. So it's an element of coordination here, but I'll just show what we mean with this movement. So again, it's one of those movements I know I like to do a lot, but you might like to just sit forward a little bit. It might just help you perform the movement a little bit better. So what that looks like, upper body nice and strong. Right leg is out, so I'm on the heel of my foot, and I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. So you'll see if I'm really far back in my chair, it's kind of hard to get in that straight leg position. So just coming forward a little bit if that feels comfortable to you. So my legs are out. What I want to do is pull my right heel back and then do the same on the left. So I just want you to start alternating between those 2 positions, curling or pulling the leg back. So again, we're getting a little bit of movement through the ankle. We're getting movement through the knee. And we might get a little bit of connection with the back of our legs here as well. And we're just swapping or alternating. So just a little bit of coordination here as well. Maybe what starts very kind of slow, you can just go a little bit more intensity then. And once you feel you have the movement kind of locked in here. So just lightly swapping between the 2. Curl back, right, and then left. Let's keep it going. Lightly pulling back, feeling each leg, right and left, going from the heel of one foot to the toes, heel to toes. So when I'm out on my heel, pull back to my toes, or pulling back lightly as far as you comfortably can here. Now, if I keep that position, so I want you to stay as you are, and what I want to do is then switch, put right foot on left, left on right. And you'll see I just kind of go nice and slow with the movement. A little bit of control from my hip here. So I avoid kind of swinging the leg. Keep it nice, controlled. Lift up on top. Swapping one foot on top of the other. Just swapping between those 2 positions. One foot on top of the other. Just lightly bringing heel on top of the toes of the opposite foot. Switching, keeping that one flowing. Okay. Another couple of reps. Just keeping it controlled. I was going a little bit quicker. I'm just going to slow it right back down again. Lots of control from my hip. And back down, okay? Just giving lower body a little bit of a breather. And we'll take it upper body and we will repeat and come back to those movements. Reset again, hands together. What I want you to do is Just lightly press your hands out from chest. Gently swivel slightly to the left. Press. Middle. Press. Swivel to the right. Press. Return. Middle. Press. Left. Press. And just coming back to the middle each time. So again, I'm just pressing lightly out from my chest. And I'm just going in these 3 different planes of movement. Slightly to the left, directly in front, slightly to the right. You'll notice here, I'm not looking for a perfect turn directly to the side. Just a gentle swivel, just lightly to the left, and a slightly diagonal plane of movement. Slightly to the right. And just pressing out from your chest each time. So we're getting a very controlled rotation through the upper body and a nice press out from chest. So just break it down, there's no hurry. Just going in all these different planes of movement and a nice controlled rotation each time. And let's continue, let's get another couple here. Straight to the left, back to the middle, over to the right. Once more, middle and left, and middle and right, and back, reset. Okay, so we'll repeat that again. So if you remember, I was going to show this from the side. Again, we'll go through the setup. So again, I like to sit a little bit forward in my chair for a movement like this, providing that feels comfortable to you. So I just bring myself slightly forward, legs out, so you're on the heels of your feet, and just a nice, strong, supported position on the heels. Let's begin with our movement. Right leg back until I'm on my toes, straighten out. Left leg back going from heel to toes. So again, maybe just kind of start slow, get a feel for the movement, the feel for what kind of range you can work in. And then I can go at a kind of nice moderate intensity here. Just lightly curling the leg back, one at a time. Going from the heel to the toes of my foot, moving through the ankle. So moving through the knee, maybe feeling a little bit of connection with the back of your legs as well here. Again, we like to do lots of repetitions so you can kind of change. If something feels a bit uncomfortable, just change the movement. And we start to get a little bit higher with the reps. We might just get more connection with certain parts of the body as well here. So just lightly curling back, alternating between the 2 sides. Another few reps here. Let's go maybe 5 more per side. Getting lots of reps. And 2 more. And once more. Now, keeping those legs out, still strong, supported in my chair. I want to swap right foot on top of left, left on top of right. And I'm looking for a nice, smooth movement here, as opposed to kind of swiping or swinging that leg up. And with a very controlled, straight leg raising up. Lots of control through that hip. Switching one foot on top of the other, a heel-toe position. Swapping between the 2 sides. Again, just not rushing the movement. It's kind of natural to start speeding up. I did it myself in that first round. We're just keeping it nice and controlled. Swapping one foot on top of the other. Nice and light. And let's do 3 more of each. Control from the hip. And back down. Okay, bringing it back to some upper body. The finisher here. So readjust. Okay, so feel nice and comfortable in my chair. Straighten that position. Hands up at my chest. And again, where we'll press forward, left, right, but more of a diagonal plane as opposed to a full rotation or turn. So we'll start with straight. I push forward, back in, swivel to left. Press, back in, forward, back in, and right. You can see just more of a swivel than a full rotation here. Nice controlled rotation. through your upper body each time. Just lightly pressing out in front. Just taking your time with each position. Again, lots of reps here, so just get a feel for the kind of range that's good for you. And is there one side stronger than the other? So let's keep it going. Middle, press, over to the left, press, back to the middle, over to the right. And let's just go up and down, maybe one or two more. Middle, right. Let's reverse it up and down once more. Forward, left, and back, forward, and right, and back in. Perfect, okay. So that's kind of 3 blocks, rounds of work done. A lot of good hard work there. I say the main idea is just to try and feel, connect with different parts of the body and just kind of really feel them engaged, switched on. So we covered a lot there. So pushed quite hard, lots of reps, as I said. So what we'll do is we'll just move into a cool down, just relaxing the body down, just reversing that process and just bringing our body back right to a relaxed state. So what we'll do first, begin with our lower body, kind of based on some of the work we did. So what I want to do first is just lift my right foot up off the floor. I want to point the toes up to the ceiling and spend a couple of seconds in this position. If it helps, you can just lightly hold on to that knee here as well. Then I want to point my toes down to the floor. I want to swap that position. Toes point up to the ceiling. Toes point down to the floor. So let's do that 3 more times. Toes point up to the ceiling. Down to the floor. And again, toes up to the ceiling. Down to the floor. And once more. Toes up, little hold. And point the toes down. And rest. Swap side. And again, just readjust, make sure you feel comfortable. So again, if you want, just keep the foot up. If it helps, you might just like to lightly hold the knee, but that's again just optional. Point your toes up to the ceiling. Stay here for a couple of seconds. And then point your toes down to the floor. And again, point those toes up to the ceiling. Down to the floor. Up to the ceiling. Down to the floor. Just going to go twice more. Pointing those toes up to the ceiling. Down to the floor. And one last time. My toes pointing up. And then down to the floor. And back down. Okay. Just with the hips in mind next. Just reset. What I want to do is just lightly open that right leg. Just hold here for a couple of seconds. And back in. And I'm just going to stick with that right leg. Just 5 steps out to the right. Just slowly opening the leg out. Just a nice controlled lift. Back in. And I'm just spending a couple of seconds each time that I lift out. And once more. And back in. Left leg now. Again, just a nice controlled step out to the sides. Back in. And again. Back in. Just going to go for 3 more. Just taking your time. Biggest thing here, just not to open that leg too far. Just stay in a range that feels good. You're connected with that hip. And back in. Just bring it back into the chair. And what I want to do is just a nice big lift to the right knee. Hold for a couple of seconds. Big lift to the left knee. Hold for a couple of seconds. And let's just continue. Big lift and hold. Big lift and hold. I would say 3 seconds maybe of a hold. Big lift. Big lift. And let's keep that one going again. Right knee up. Hold for a couple of seconds. Left knee. And get 2 more on each side. Big lift to the right. Big lift on my left. 1 more time. Big lift on the right. And big lift on the left. And down. Perfect. So just going to move it up, transitioning to upper body. And a couple of stretches here next. And nice light flowing stretches. Just gradually easing off on the pace. Bringing everything back to a nice relaxed state. So we'll go for a rotation first. We'll keep this nice and light. What I'll do is place one hand on top of the other and just gently thinking head with the movement, lightly rotate over to the right. Again, let's stay here for a couple of seconds and gently rotate over to the left. So again, over to the right. Just make sure it does take a couple of seconds that we don't go really fast side to side. Just take your time. Nice smooth transition side to side. Head gently going with the movement. Movement through your upper body. And a nice stretch in the back as well here. And just over to the left. This feels pretty good. So let's go for another 3 in each direction. Gently over to the right. And gently over to the left. And let's go for 2 more. Over to the right. And over to the left. And once more in each direction. Over to the right. And then over to the left. And back down. Now, like we did as a kind of flowing movement earlier, we're just going to hold now as a kind of stretch this position. So hands up about chest or shoulder height here. I want you to press the arms in front. Stretch those arms out as far forward as we can. Hold that position. About 10 seconds here. And then what I want you to do is pull back. Squeeze those shoulder blades. And again, we'll stay here for maybe about 10 seconds. Just holding our position. Staying as we are. Let's do that again. So press. Stretch those arms out in front as far away as I can press. Holding position. Keeping those hands up if I can. Pull back as far as I comfortably can. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Hold position. Again, work in ranges that feel comfortable to you. We'll go with that one more time, just to press forward as far as I comfortably can and hold. And once more, pull back as far as comfortable and hold. And back down. Perfect. Very gentle, just finish lightly with the shoulders. Just going to lift my right shoulder and then the left. Just that little bit of separation. Keep the movement nice and light. Lifting one side at a time. And then we'll just finish up with our head movements. Just when it comes to the head, neck, something I'd always repeat is just keep it really simple, really light. So with your head, neck, never looking to go quickly between positions or too extreme in the ranges. So this nice relaxed position. I lightly look over to the right. And if I feel I can't go any further, I won't force it. Then I'll slowly look over to the left. And again, it takes me a couple of seconds just to transition between the two. Lightly looking over to the right again. So I'm never going kind of too extreme that it feels uncomfortable, and never too quick that it feels in any way uncomfortable. So I'll just do that one more time. Lightly looking over to the right, taking your time, and lightly looking over to the left, taking your time on that transition. And back in, okay? And we'll just take a nice big deep breath in through the nose. Just kind of rest the hands down on the legs. Big deep breath. Nice slow exhale out the mouth. And again. And once more. Okay, so that's our session finished for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully, like myself, feel good after that. Feels good to move. So enjoy the rest of your day and take care as well with that weather outside. So well done everyone on YouTube. Brilliant work. Croft. Hopefully everyone in the Croft is keeping well. Great to have you with us. Well done, Mary and Marie. And well done everyone on Facebook. Brilliant stuff. Great stuff everyone on YouTube. Brilliant. Very well done.